Good morning, students. Welcome to teleeducation classes. I hope you all are doing good. I am also doing good. I have come back with a new session. Let's see what we have today. Now, can you see the screen? What do you see here? It's a railway station, right? It's a train. People are traveling somewhere with the train. So you got it right. It's a railway station. Now you can see a boy, correct? He is having luggages. He is having a bag. He is also carrying a bag. Now let's see what has happened here. Stefan reached Guwahati quite early in the morning. So his name is Stefan and he has reached Guwahati. So this is Guwahati and he has reached quite early in the morning. Okay, let's see what happens next. Now, Stefan saw a tea seller. Can you see the tea stall? Where this man is selling tea and many other things, right? Let's see what is happening here. Let's read what is written here. He travelled all the way from Delhi and he is quite tired. He approached towards a tea seller. Yes, so he was coming from Delhi and he is very tired right now, correct? So he wanted to have a cup of tea maybe. That's why he was approaching towards a tea seller. So we can see the tea stall, correct? And he wanted to have a tea. That's why he was approaching towards the tea seller. Now let's see what is happening here. Now he goes to the tea seller and what he says. Let's see. Brother, could you please give me a cup of tea? Now let's see what this tea seller says. Dada, কিচ্ছু লাগবে নাকি আপনার? Okay, so do you see that Stefan has asked his question or asked his did his statement in English, but this guy who is selling tea, he was replying in Bengali. That means he doesn't understand English and Stefan doesn't understand Bengali. Let's see what is happening here. So exclamatory signs. That means this man, he was expecting a reply from Stefan, but the Stefan did not reply. So he was thinking, did he understand what did I say? Let's see what is happening. So Stefan then says, okay. So Stefan kept on waiting for his cup of tea because he already told, right? He wanted to have a cup of tea. So he was waiting for his cup of tea. But the tea seller too kept on looking at him and said, Dada, cha খাবেন নাকি? Though Stefan already told the tea seller that he wanted to have a cup of tea, but the tea seller did not get it because tea seller doesn't understand English language. So he was confused. Though he even asked him if Stefan wanted to have tea, but Stefan did not reply to his message or to his statement because Stefan did not understand Bengali. So now when both were waiting for each other to respond, then tea seller thought, let me ask him again, Dada, cha খাবেন নাকি? Now let's see what happens. Okay, so you saw that, right? They both were speaking in their own languages. So something happened, right? So before moving to the conversation, let's do a question now. You can see the question on your screen, right? If you go to a place where you do not know their local language, then how will you communicate with them? So you have gone to a place, okay? Now you don't know the local language of that place. So it's up to you how you communicate with them. You have 4 options here. I will be telling you the 4 options and you have to choose the correct one. Try to use a language that is known to both the locals and you. Use your mother tongue. Use English. None of the above. So I am reading the question once more. If you go to a place where you do not know their local language, then how will you communicate with them? You have your 4 options. Your 4 options are: try to use a language that is known to both the locals and you. Use your mother tongue. Use English. None of the above. So your timer has started. Use your common sense and answer this question. This is very easy. Just answer it. I am waiting for your answer and you are left with 15 seconds. Please answer it fast. I am waiting for your answer. Let's see what you answer. So your last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So we are done with the timer. Now let me tell you the correct answer. So the correct answer is A. Correct? Try to use a language that is known to both the locals and you. Correct? If you don't use their local language, how will you communicate with them? suppose you don't know the local language, but you know some few words of that language, so you will try to communicate using those words so that you can communicate with them. Otherwise you have to face the problem like Stefan and that tea seller, because they were talking to each other but they were not able to communicate because they don't know each other's language, right? So that's why that was happening like this. So let's move with the session. Okay, now they're asking, you saw the whole scenario between Stefan and tea seller, right? They were trying to communicate with each other but they were not able to communicate. But now tell me, why did this happen? Let's see. Because the tea seller did not know English. Yes, I told you, right? The tea seller did not know English. That's why he was not able to understand Stefan. Now, what is happening? Let's see. And Stefan did not know Bengali. Okay, so the tea seller was speaking in Bengali and Stefan did not know Bengali. That's why he was not able to respond anything. They were looking at each other and expecting something, expecting the response, but they both were unaware because they don't know each other's languages. That's why this scenario, that accident happened. Correct? Now, let's see. Now imagine the same situation, okay, with the presence of a third person who can understand both the languages. Now you have to imagine the same scenario where Stefan and T seller is there, the same situation, but there is a change this time. This time you have to imagine the whole situation with a third person. So there will be a person who can understand both the languages. Okay, so we have to imagine the whole scenario again, but with the presence of a third person, and the third person knows both the languages. That means Bengali and English. Let's see what is happening here. So you can see the whole scenario again. You can see Stefan, you can see the tea seller. Now can you see a new man standing between them? The blue jacket man? Yes. So he is the third person in this scenario, okay, and this man knows Bengali and English both. Let's see how this man helped them. Now, Stefan, what did he say? Brother, could you please give me a cup of tea? Now, we know the tea seller doesn't know English. Now, this third person is going to help Stefan to convey his message to the tea seller. Dada, uni apnar kache cha chaichen. That means this man has translated the whole message of Stefan to the tea seller. Now tea seller will be able to understand. Let's see what the tea seller replies. দিচ্ছি দাঁড়ান, কিন্তু দাদা চাতে চিনি কতটুক দেব? Now the tea seller is having one more question. That is, কিন্তু দাদা চাতে চিনি কতটুক দেব? Now দিচ্ছি দাঁড়ান is okay. That means I'm giving, wait, but you have to tell me how much sugar I need to add to the tea. Now this question, now the Stefan doesn't know this question. What is this tea seller saying? Now this third person will be translating this question to the Stefan. Let's see how he does this. Sir, would you like to have sugar in your tea? So this is how the third person has translated the whole message to Stefan. Now let's see what Stefan replies. Stefan, okay. Now Stefan replies, no. Please do not put sugar in my tea. So Stefan did not want sugar in his tea. So he told, no, do not put sugar in my tea. Now how will this third person is converting or translating this statement to the tea seller? Let's see that, okay. Now the third person is saying, Dada, uni bolechen, unar chate chini lagbe na. Now tea seller knows what to do, because the third person has told whatever Stefan wanted, right? Stefan did not wanted sugar, so the tea seller is not going to add sugar. Now let's see how the tea seller responds. Acha, thik ache, dada. Now the tea seller knows what to do, how to make the tea, how much sugar he needs to add, because the third person helped him to know whatever Stefan wanted by translating Stefan's messages to the tea seller, right? Now we are going to do a question, correct? Let's see what question we have. Suppose you are in Maharashtra and you go to a village where they know only Marathi, and so you went to Maharashtra and you know in Maharashtra people mostly speak in Marathi. Okay, but this time you're going to a village in Maharashtra, so where they only know Marathi. But if you go to the town side of Maharashtra, city side of the Maharashtra, then there are people who can speak Hindi, English, other languages. But maybe in some villages in Maharashtra where people only speak Marathi, so you went to one of those villages where people are only speaking Marathi. So now they are saying, how will you deal, like how will you adjust yourself there, how will you communicate there? Let's see, you have four options. Take a friend who knows only Hindi. Take a friend who knows only Marathi. Take a friend who knows both Hindi and Marathi. Take a friend who knows English. So you have four options. Imagine yourself in this scenario. Suppose you went to a village in Maharashtra. People there only speak Marathi. Okay. Now you don't understand Marathi and you can't speak Marathi. Okay. But you have, if you have a lot of friends who can speak all these languages, so you have to choose a friend who like you have four options. Which friend are you going to take with yourself so that you can communicate in that village in Maharashtra? So will you take a friend who knows only Hindi, or you will take a friend who knows only Marathi, or you will take a friend who knows both Hindi and Marathi? Take a friend who knows English. So your four options are here. I am starting the timer. Choose the correct answer. This is very easy. This just like the situation of Stephen and the tea seller. So imagine yourself going to a village in Maharashtra where you have to communicate in Marathi, but you don't know Marathi. But you have the option to take a friend of yours. So, and your friends knows a lot of languages. There are some friends who knows Hindi, who knows only Marathi, who knows both Hindi and Marathi, and who knows English. Now you have to tell me which friend are you going to take with you. Now I am starting the timer. Your timer has started. Please give the correct answer. It's very easy. Imagine yourself and think which friend will help you in this situation. Okay. Now tell me, you have last 10 seconds to answer this question. This is a very easy question. Use your common sense. Use yourself. Just imagine yourself that you are in this situation. How will you do it? Okay, we are done with the timer. So let's see. Okay, very good students. You have answered correctly. The correct answer is option C. Take a friend who knows both Hindi and Marathi, because you know Hindi and the other people in village know Marathi. So if you need to communicate with them, you have to take a friend who knows both Hindi and Marathi, which makes your communication more easier. Correct? So this is what we have asked in this situation. Let's move with the session. When we know more than one language, our communication gets easier to reach out a larger mass. Correct? So it's very important to know more than one languages, because it helps to communicate to a larger mass. Because see, now we are staying in Assam, right? We know quite a lot of languages. We speak English, we know Hindi, we know Bengali, we know Assamese, and we know many other languages. Like so many students are there with the different mother tongue, so we know that language also. So we are already knowing more than one languages, but it's better to learn more languages, because it will help you to communicate with different people from different community, from different languages. Okay, because suppose you are traveling to North India, there people mostly speak in Hindi. So if you know Hindi, you will be able to communicate there in Hindi. Suppose you are traveling to South India, where people are speaking South Indian, right? So mostly whatever we face is, whenever we are traveling to South Indian, people there are speaking, South Indian, like Kannada, Malayalam, Tamil, so many languages they speak, right? But we are not aware of that language. So at that time we face difficulty. But if you know that language by any chance, then that will be so easier to you, right, to communicate with them. So it's always better to learn more languages, because it makes your life easier. Suppose if you don't know English, okay, so English is a very important language right now. So if you don't know English, if you travel to a different country, okay, you won't be able to communicate, because English is a common language. Most of the people know English. So it's better to learn English so that you can communicate more easily. Even in some states where you don't know the regional language, but there are some people who understand English. So you can at least communicate them with English. They will be understanding little bit of what you are saying, and you will also understand what are they trying to tell you. Okay, so it's better, it is very much important if you train yourself in learning different languages, because it is going to make your life more easier. Just like we are learning English now, you can see why we have to learn languages, because you can see the situation between Stefan and the tea seller, right? Just because Stefan did not know Bengali and the tea seller did not know English, they were not able to communicate with each other. But the man who came as the third person who helped them communicate with each other, it made the communication more easier, because he translated everything, whatever Stefan wanted to say to the tea seller, even the tea seller, whatever tea seller said, the translator translated that to Stefan. Okay, that's why the third person who was there, who knew both the languages, made the life easier and made the communication easier. That's why it's always better to learn more languages and be the third person, because you will help people and you will help yourself in your life. So that is why they say, when we know more than one language, our communication gets easier to reach out to a larger mass. Now let's move with the session. When we take help of a different language to make the native speaker of that particular language understand, what do we call it? So whenever we take help of a different language to make the native speaker of that particular language understand, what do we call it? You saw that the third person was translating English to Bengali, then Bengali to English, right? Now what do we call that? What was that third person doing? What is that term? Let's see what is that term. We call it translation. Okay, so that term is translation. Translation means translating one language to another. Just like that the third person was translating Bengali to English, then English to Bengali, he was doing translation. So today our topic is translation. We are going to learn translation and why is it important and when it is needed. So we are going to discuss everything in this session. So what is our topic today? Translation. Okay, now let's move with the session. Now before moving with the session, we have a question here. Let's see what is the question. If you write the name of a place on your notebook from a shop's signboard, that will be, so you can see signboards, right, outside the shop. There we can see all everything, the address of the shop, the location of the shop, everything is mentioned in that signboard, correct? Now if you have to write your location, if you have to copy the location from the signboard, what do we call it? So it's a new thing. You can just make a guess and answer this question. Don't worry if you answer it wrong, because even this is a new term, I am not expecting you to answer it correctly. Just try, just make a random guess and answer it. I will tell you what is the correct answer. That will be a new thing for you. So I am starting the timer here. So your timer has started, your 20-second has started. Now see, just give it just try to answer this question. Just make a random guess, because this is a new thing for you. I'm not expecting you to answer it correctly. I will tell you the correct answer. What do we call this? What term we use for this thing? So you can see a signboard outside the shop where you can see addresses and everything. So your timer is up. Some people have answered and I'm so happy that there are some students who have answered correctly. Very good. Now the answer is B. Whoever has answered B, they have done a very nice job, because the B is the correct answer. Whoever has chosen other options, I told you, right? I was not expecting correct answer from you. So whatever you have answered, you have tried your best. Very good. So this term, we use the term note taking here. Okay, whenever we write the name of a place on our notebook from a shop signboard, that means we are taking a note, right? We are making a note out of it. That means what do we call this? We call this note taking. Okay, so that we call this, we use the term note taking for all these situations where we are making notes. So whenever you make notes from somewhere, whenever you are writing notes, whenever you see or whenever you notice something and you are taking a note out of it, we call it note taking. Okay, now we are moving with the session. Let's see what we have. They are saying the need of translation arises in multiple situations. So we know the translation is very important, because there are some, even if we go to South Indian country, like South Indian states, we face difficulties, right? South Indian languages are not familiar to us. Maybe we can speak Hindi when we travel to North India, because Hindi is still familiar to us. We watch TV in Hindi, but we watch South Indian movies, but we don't watch them in, in their native language. We use subtitles, or we translate that language to Hindi and then watch the movie, right? We're not familiar to South Indian languages. So whenever we travel to South Indian states, we face difficulties, and that time translation is very important. We want to have someone who can explain, like, what is this man or this woman is trying to tell us, right? So that is what they are saying, where the need of translation arises in multiple situations. Okay, so we are going to see some situations where translation is needed. Okay, let's see some of the situations. I hope you all are ready. So what is this? What do you say? I think this is a classroom where we can see a teacher, and many students are sitting and doing their class. Now let's see. So this is your English class. Okay. So this is your English class, and this is your English teacher, and there are so many students sitting in this class. So let's see what is happening here. Can someone please give me a pen? So this teacher is saying, can someone please give me a pen? Correct? Now let's see what is happening next. There is a girl who stood up and said, ম্যাডাম কে দেওয়ার জন্য কোনো কলম আছে নাকি কারো কাছে? Okay, so the madam told, can someone please give me a pen? So this is what she has said in English. Now this girl stood up and said the same thing in Bengali, so that the whole class understands it better. Maybe they understand English, but maybe they do not understand that nicely, or that easily. That's why this girl is trying to help her classmates to understand it better, and she said the same thing in Bengali. That means she did translation here. Okay, so there are some situation like this where we have to do translation, like in this classroom when we saw this girl translating the same thing whatever her teacher has said. Madam ke dewar jonno kono kolom ache naki karo kache? She has said that. Correct? So this is a situation where we saw translation was needed. Now let's see other situation. So there's two. There is a girl and a boy. They are watching news. Okay, so they are watching television, and they are watching news in the television. Now let's see what is happening here. So the reporter is saying, in Assam the weather is pretty good today. We may expect a little rain during the evening. Okay, so she was doing a weather forecast. She was talking about the weather, and she was discussing about the weather. Now let's see what is happening. This girl, she doesn't know English, so she was asking, Dada, মানে কি বলছে ও? মানে she was asking, কি বলছে দাদা? আমি তো বুঝতেই পারলাম না কি বললো। Now let's see how her dada explains her. বলছে যে আজকে অসমে আবহাওয়া ভালো, কিন্তু বিকেলে বৃষ্টি হতে পারে. So this is how her dada explained the whole thing to her, just translating whatever the reporter has said. He said, বলছে যে আজকে অসমে আবহাওয়া ভালো, কিন্তু বিকেলে বৃষ্টি হতে পারে. Right? So this is what the reporter said. So this is also a situation where the translation was needed. Correct? Now let's see another situation. So this three boys and this girl, they were learning an English song. Now let's see which song. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. So this is a very common song. I think you have heard this song, and this song is translated in many languages, like in Hindi, in Bengali. So this is a very common song. Let's see what is this girl saying. So this girl has translated the whole song in Bengali. Let's see what is she saying. আমরা হব সফল, আমরা হব সফল, আমরা হব সফল একদিন. So this is how she has translated the whole English song into a Bengali song. Correct? So this is also a situation where we need translation. Correct? Now let's see what next we have. Okay, so we can see a store full of mobile phones, television. Okay, so it is an electronic shop. Okay, now this, what is happening? Let's see. While you are making your grandparents understand something from the phone. Very nice. So we are young, you are young, correct? So we all are very familiar to smartphones and everything. We use it very easily, but we have our grandparents, we have our parents who are not they cannot use the smartphones easily, so they need help from us. We teach them so many things every day, every time. Whenever they come to us with their phones, they show us like, what is happening here, can you tell me how to deal with this, right? So this is also a situation like that, where her grandparent, this grandmother, is facing something. Let's see what is she facing. So she is holding a mobile phone, that is a smartphone, and there is a notification. So what did it show? Notification, double tap on the screen. Now this grandma doesn't know what to do with this. What are they saying? Okay. So she was asking her granddaughter. Now granddaughter, how did she help her? Let's see. The granddaughter was saying, Didi, দিদা ফোনের স্ক্রিনে দুইবার তুমি টাচ করো। ঠিক আছে, the granddaughter said, দিদা ফোনের স্ক্রিনে দুইবার তুমি টাচ করো। So this is how her granddaughter helped her grandparent, because her Dida is not familiar with the smartphones, because she doesn't know how to use it. This is how her granddaughter helped her, by saying how to open a notification. Whenever you see a notification, how to open that notification. So this is also a situation where translation is needed. Okay, now we have come with a question. Let's see what question we have. If your English teacher instructs, go and bring my file from the teacher's common room, and if you do not understand properly, you will. So suppose you are in a classroom, your teacher is asking you to bring the teacher's file from the teacher's common room, but you didn't understand what did she say. So you have four options. What you will do? So your four options are: keep sitting, try to understand what she said, ask your teacher that you do not understand English, all of the above. What do you think? If you have to face the same situation, you are in the classroom, your teacher is asking you to bring the file from the teacher's common room, what are you going to do? And you didn't understand what your teacher said. What do you do? Just imagine yourself in this situation and tell me what are you going to do. Your timer has started now. I have started the timer. Now tell me, you have four options, you have 30 seconds to answer, you are left with 25 seconds. Keep sitting, try to understand what she said, ask your teacher that you do not understand English, and all of the above. What you will do? So this kind of scenarios are very common in a classroom. Whenever your teacher is saying or asking you to bring a file from the teacher's common room, what do you do? Suppose you don't understand what your teacher said, what do you do? Just imagine yourself in this situation. Last 1 second. Okay, so everyone has answered the wrong answer, but the correct answer is B. You will try to understand what she said. Correct? You will try to understand what she said. This is the correct option. Now we are moving with the session. So what do you mean by translation? You know it. And why is it needed? You also know it. Now it is written, translation is not only limited to Assamese and English, it is seen all around the world. Okay, so it's not about Assamese, knowing Bengali, knowing English. It's all around the world. It is always needed. It is very important. You have to do translation all over the world. There are so many languages, you don't even know, you can't even count how many languages are there, right? So you can't know all the languages. So it is very important, and translation is not limited to Assamese, Bengali or English. It is seen all around the world, what is they are trying to say. Let us have a look at other situation where translation is widely used. So we are going to see some more situations where we see translation. Let's see. Now in movie subtitles. So we are going to see this movie. This is a movie. The name of the movie is Scene from Parasite, and it was released in 2019. Now this movie is in Korean, so it's a Korean movie. So obviously we don't understand Korean, right? So but the subtitles are in English. But if we have subtitles in English in the whole movie, we will be able to understand what is happening in this movie. So this is how translation is needed in movies which are in different languages. Just I told you, we watch South Indian movies, but when we have translated that movie in Hindi, we are more comfortable, or when we have subtitles, then we are more comfortable. Just what I said. So this is also a movie which is in Korean. Now we don't understand Korean, right? But if we have subtitles in English, then we will be able to understand what is happening in this movie. Now we have the second option. When prominent guests visits India. Now you can see Narendra Modi here and you can see Japanese Prime Minister there enjoying Pani Puri. Now you have seen this visual, I guess you have seen this visual many times in the television when this Japanese Prime Minister visited India, they had enjoyed Pani Puri. Now let's see what is happening in this. So just see the video properly, okay? So this man who is a Japanese Prime Minister, he is enjoying his Pani Puri very nicely. Even Modi ji is also enjoying Pani Puri. Now what is happening in the parliament, there is a translator for every language. So in whenever there is a discussion in parliament, there are so many ministers or there are so many people who are not aware of every languages. So they need help of a translator. So they always keep a translator to make the communication easier. Okay, now you can see this visual where they both are enjoying this pani puri. But can you see this lady who is wearing a pink sari? Why is she present there? What do you think? Here in this video, when the Japanese Prime Minister visited India, the translator, the lady on the left, so the girl, the lady who is wearing a pink sari, she is the translator here, okay? Translated everything to both Indian and Japanese Prime Minister. Whatever the Japanese Prime Minister was saying or reacting to the Pani Puri or talking to or wanted to say to Modi ji, this lady translated everything to Modi ji. Okay, and Modi ji, whatever Modi ji wanted to say to this Prime Minister, the Japanese Prime Minister, this lady translated everything to the Japanese Prime Minister. That means she knows Japanese, she knows Hindi, she knows English. That's why she was able to translate all the things whatever they were saying and made their communication more easier. Correct? Now you can see some pictures where Modi ji is meeting with different delegates of different countries. In the same way, there will also be a French translator for the French delegates, a Swahili, one of the languages from Africa, translator for Swahili delegates, and an Iranian translator for the Iranian delegates, and so on. So whenever Modi ji meets with different delegates of different having different languages, they always need a translator to make their communication easier. You can see three different delegates are present here. One is from France, then there is one from Iran, and there is one from South Africa or Africa. Okay, so they have their own languages, so they need translator to make the communication easier. So in case of books also you can see, so it is a book which is a autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. That first book is in English, and we can see the same book that is translated to Assamese. So APJ Abdul Kalam sir's autobiography translated to Assamese. So this book is the same book, but it is in different languages, so that no person who doesn't know English can miss the book. If you know Assamese, you can still read the book, you can read the Assamese version. But if you know English, then you can go for the English version. So that is why they are providing options to the consumers. So it makes easier to them to read the book if they want to read, and that is why we try to translate movies, books in different languages to make more accessible for the people of different languages. Books all around the world are translated to different languages from different languages to reach out to the readers of all language groups. That is what I was saying. If you know some language you know English, or you know Bengali only, but you don't know English or Hindi or any other language, but there is a book which is written in English, you wanted to read that book, but you will see that book is converted to Bengali. Now it is easier for you to read that book. That is why they translate books, so that they can reach to larger mass. Now we have come with another question. Let's see what we have. So now you have to tell me what is translation. There are 4 options. Translation is asking people what they mean, talking to people of different languages, communicating with the help of 2 different languages, being multilingual. So you have 4 options here. What do you think? What do we mean by translation? Your time starts now. Your 30 seconds has started already. Now you have to choose the appropriate answer. Which answer is the correct meaning of translation? Asking people what they mean, talking to people of different languages, communicating with the help of 2 different languages, being multilingual. So which one do you think? Okay, very good. Some people are answering correctly. I am seeing that. Very nice. Last 5 seconds. We are done with the timer. Okay, so we are done. Very good. Whoever has chosen C, that is communicating with the help of two different languages. That is the correct answer. And I can see some people have gone for D and B. Okay, no issue, students. You all are doing good. At least you have answered something. I am very happy for it. And the correct answer is C, communicating with the help of two different languages. Very good. Now we are we have come with one activity. Let's see what activity we have. So I am going to show you some words in English. Okay, so these are the words. Okay, zoo, afternoon, meritorious, dictionary, citizen. Now I am going to show some Bengali words. Okay, the you have to remember the earlier English words. So these are some Bengali words. Medhabi, Obhidhan, Chiriyakhana, Nagorik, Dupur. So you have to match the English words with the Bengali words. I hope you can do it. That's very easy. Let's do it. Zoo, Chiriyakhana. Afternoon, Dupur. Meritorious, Medhabi. Dictionary, Obhidhan. Citizen, Nagorik. Correct. So this is how we have translated all the English words to Bengali. Now we are doing to do some sentences. গাছের পাতা সবুজ হয়. The leaves of trees are green. গাছ আমাদের ফুল ফল এবং ছায়া দেয়. Trees give us flowers, fruit and shade. গুণীজন বললেন একটি গাছ 10টি বইয়ের সমান. The wise says a tree is equal to 10 books. তুমি গাছের যত্ন করো কি? Do you take care of trees? পৃথিবী সবুজ রাখার জন্য আমাদের গাছের যত্ন করার দরকার. We must take care of trees to keep the earth green. প্রাণী এবং গাছ একে অপরের উপর নির্ভরশীল. Trees and creatures are dependent on each other. So this is how we have converted all the Bengali sentences to English sentences. Now we are going to answer this question. So it's a very easy question. I am sorry when I am wrong. Never, always, irrespective of my fault, to end the fight. What do you think? When do you say sorry normally? So you have three options. You have to tell me which option is correct for you. Your time starts now. I don't think I need to explain here anything. Whenever you say sorry, whenever you feel sorry, what is the reason behind you to feel sorry? So your timer is ticking. You have to choose the correct answer. It's very easy. You just use your common sense. We say sorry all the time, most of the times, but why do we say sorry? There must be a reason to feel sorry, right? So what is that reason? You have three options. Choose the correct option. I am wrong, never, always, irrespective of my fault, to end the fight. Now you have to choose the correct answer. Okay, we are done. Oh, I'm so sorry to see that some people, like, there are students who have answered it correctly, but most of the students have chosen the wrong answer. Though our right answer is A, when we are wrong. I am very proud of the students who have chosen option A. I am very happy with them. Now the last question, the feedback question. Okay, so it's your time. Tell me, how do you feel today? Did you understand? What did I teach you? Why we need translation? Why is it important to learn so many languages? Because it makes our life more easier. We can connect to more people, to a larger mass. It's very important to learn different languages. Now, if you have any problem, if you have any query, you can let me know, because I am going to take your next class. So I am there to make you understand what is translation, why do we need it, what is the situation where translation arises, right? So you have to tell me all these questions. Like, you have to tell me if you have any question related to today's session. Okay, so before ending the class, you have to give me the feedback. How do you feel? Happy, quite good, satisfactory, or confused? So I want you to answer this question and let me know, because I will also get to know, right, how do you feel after doing this session. And don't worry if you have anything, any confusion, because I am going to clear that in your next class. So I can see some people are answering that. I hope. Okay, so we are done with the timer. I'm so happy that there are some people who are very happy with the session, and there are some people who are satisfactory. I'm so happy with it. Thank you so much, students. I will see you in our next class. It was lovely meeting you today, and take care, stay safe, and keep studying. Okay.